Good morning. I'd like to introduce to this webinar Heeru, Sajnani and Charlotte Joel. They were one of the best received presentations at AQR's conference, so we thought we'd ask them back. And they're going to take this presentation on. And reflecting on the presentation that they gave, I think it's got two nice angles. One, that researchers are finding ways to make AI work for us as opposed to becoming its slave. And it's a creative tool, a catalyst, and humans are the masters. So any question, fire away, and we'll come back to them at the end, please. Off you go.
Hello, and a very good afternoon, everyone joining the session today, which is about magnifying the consumer product interaction or the moment of product interaction using a combination of guided visualization and AI. Just to introduce myself, I'm Heeru. I'm a senior research director at 9seed. I've been a quali for about 15 years now, and I love experimenting with a combination of old and new tools and techniques. I request my colleague Charlotte to introduce herself, and together with her today, we aim to inspire you to make AI your assist to support you to enhance your consumer interactions.
Perfect. Yeah, welcome everyone. Really appreciate you watching this during your lunch break. I know it's really precious your lunch break, so just to hear me and Heeru talk about the wonderful and weird world of AI, just for under an hour. So I'm a research manager. I've been at 9seed for about 3 or so years, give or take. And the degree in sociology brought me into the world of qualitative research, and I haven't looked back since, and it's been great. So I'm sure you're aware, if you've been listening, AI is quite a hot topic at the moment. It's everywhere. You cannot get away from it. LinkedIn, Facebook, everything, even Google, it comes up with an AI thing at the top. And people are really comparing it now to the birth of the internet. The capabilities of AI are really accelerating, and the possibilities are really endless, and they're just getting stronger and stronger. And like I said in the conference, for some of you that may have been there, we can either run away or hide from it, or we can use it to our advantage and elevate our work using it, as it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. So yeah, like Heeru said, it's magnifying the moment. So the introduction will be talking about magnifying moments, how we can use it in research. And then the last 15 minutes will take us to the questions. So the focus on today will be talking about how we can blend traditional methods in qual research with AI technology to generate visual stimulus and enhance engagement and insights to a higher level than if we were to not use AI. So in the conference, we already covered how AI-generated stimulus can magnify the emotions and create, the stimulus. And this was focused more on how before we interacted with the consumers, for the consumers to then express their emotions using imagery and uncover further stories in groups and other methods. And this today is going to be more about magnifying the moment. So after sort of talking to consumers, and while we're talking to consumers, using guided visualization to allow consumers to escape into the moment of the product usage experience, and also enhancing consumer engagement and expression of the moment with supporting AI generated stimulus. And we'll show you a short video at the end to really amplify this. And here we have beauty of the image. So we know that images are really powerful, and they really do have the power to take us on a journey, whether we believe that or not. So in terms of the power of images, and a single photograph can transport us to a different time and place, and can also stir up some memories and emotions. It might be a childhood photo, a breathtaking landscape, or a candid moment. Images really do have the unique ability to connect with us on a real deep level. And they can trigger a wide range of emotions as well. For example, think about a picture of a serene beach. It might bring feelings of peace, relaxation, whereas like an image of traffic and the hustle and bustle of London might evoke stress or even excitement, if that's what you enjoy. It's really important to understand the emotional impact of images in qual research. It's harnessing the power of images. It can really help intensify the quality of our research and insights, because it really does evoke some interesting things when we think about images and look at them. Okay. So now we are really harnessing the power of AI in research to be used as a visual catalyst, helping us sort of streamline and make things a lot easier in the creative process and create bigger ideas just from our imagination. And creating these hyper-realistic images from our mind by simply talking and writing things down into sort of AI programs. These allow us to create new images that actually don't exist yet on the internet, which is pretty cool, rather than playing with the same material over and over again on, you know, your Shutterstock, your, you know, those sort of picture websites over and over again, giving us fresh and interesting material. Like I said, doesn't exist yet, so that's pretty cool.
So with that thought, the idea was to bring alive consumer interaction using a qualitative moderated guided visualization technique and integrate it with live AI-generated imagery using consumer vocabulary to further aid the language and responses. So step one is something that focuses on the core technique and pushing the consumers, make them imagine and talk through the moment of product usage experience. Whilst consumer is expressing, a trained researcher can pick the vocabulary and use those as probes or prompts to generate live AI images. And step two, therefore, would be to use those images and feedback it back to the respondents to further bring alive the imagination. So we will be showing you a pre-recorded example of this in hair care category, a space where capturing the actual usage experience can be extremely challenging. The practical steps of the process involve the usual setup, warm up about the category, talking about routine and experience. Then for the technique, we ask the respondent to really just relax, close their eyes, and try and mentally transport themselves into a space and moment well away from the discussion. Moderator does try to stretch the moment of experience, and the expertise comes into picture, therefore, and it aims to walk through the respondents' experience of using that product, guiding them to talk about memories, sensations of the hair wash experience. And through this, the language around the thoughts, the visuals, the memories is carefully picked up by a research colleague in parallel to generate AI imagery of that imagination or the vocabulary, carefully selecting the right prompts for the evocative images. So here's the live video that captures this process.
I'll ask you things, and as I ask them, if you can just tell me what it can be anything, whatever's in your thoughts, any words that come out of your head when you're imagining being at that particular moment. Okay. So I'll just ask you different things, and you can just tell me what's in your head. Each of us, we start by closing our eyes. And just, it's a discussion, but just feel completely relaxed. Imagine you're sitting in a nice, comfortable chair, just taking yourself back to your usual moment where you're actually going to be washing your hair. Imagine you're in your bathroom, you're getting ready, you're about to have your shower, and you're going to wash your hair. Just imagine your mood in that moment. Imagine how you're feeling. You're getting into the bath, and you're just following your usual routine when you go into the bath. Washing your body perhaps might be what you're doing first, but imagine you're in the bath. To just take you back to, or take you into that moment of washing your hair, the whole experience, the feelings, the sensations, and as I ask you things in a second, just any moments of pleasure, or it might even be things that you dislike in that shampooing experience. So imagine the moment you're grabbing your shampoo, you're taking it from wherever you normally take it. You're putting it into your hand or directly onto your hair. Talk me through that, Tracy. How does the shampoo look, the colour, the consistency? How does it feel?
Right, so it's creamy, it's got a sort of silky shine to it. I put, say, a tablespoonful into the palm of my hand, and then usually I put that onto the top part of my hair, give that a slight rub. Then I use a bit more into the palm of my hand, and then I put that into the nape of my neck, and that's when I start to sort of massage it through. And that, I love the smell, just that freshness, and it's a relaxing time for me. It's just that time where I can switch off, and even though I'm washing my hair, I'm just sort of relaxing myself by massaging my hair and and it just feels soft and clean and quite fresh. And it is that bit of luxury. It does make you feel like you're treating yourself.
So you're working the product into your hair, into a lather. How easy does it feel to do that? How does it feel on your hands and your hair as you're working that lather?
Usually it feels quite, at first it feels a little bit sort of not lathery, and then I add maybe just a little bit bath water or shower water just to my hair, and that's when I can feel it softening, bubbling up, and it feels quite relaxing, sometimes even a bit tingling to the hair, like where it just feels fresh. Because if I give it good massage, then yeah, it does feel quite exhilarating, like that actual feeling of clean. My hair feels clean and fresh and quite silky. What
is it that's giving that tingling and exhilaration of clean? Is it the fragrance, the lather? Where's that tingling freshness coming from in that lathering moment?
I think it's the fragrance sometimes, because if it's got that fresh spa-like smell, it makes you feel like, and then with the massaging as well, it gives you that sort of like tingling that you're giving your head what it needs, sort of thing. You're giving your hair, you're treating your hair like you would your skin and things like that. And it makes it feel that much nicer.
That's a nice analogy, the treating your hair like you're treating your skin. So the fragrance, you chatted, again, you're in that moment. Imagine you're still washing your hair, Tracy, you're still shampooing it. Just describe that whole fragrance experience a little bit more for me.
Well, the fragrance has to be, and this does smell, so it has a really spa-like but not chemical smell. So it has a real clean, refreshing sort of smell to it. So it makes you feel, and it has a bit perfumey smell. So it does make it feel like you would with fabric conditioner and things like that. That nice fresh smell, because you want your hair to smell nice once you've finished. You don't want the scent of the shampoo to completely disappear once you sort of rinse it off.
And how's your body feeling with this fragrance and the lather, and your mind? How are you in this moment? What's your feelings?
Usually it feels quite relaxed, and I feel quite good at this point, because I know everything from the day, because I'm a nighttime bather, everything from the day I can let go of, and it just makes you sort of relax, and your body feels more ready for a good night's sleep and then the next day ahead.
Now imagine, Tracy, you're rinsing the shampoo off your hair. Just place yourself in that moment of rinsing your hair.
I always as well use a detangler to so once I've shampooed and that, I just use a detangler to brush it through, and then I leave it. And then rinsing, I like to feel, as the shampoo's going away, that my hair feels clean and squeaky clean. You know, when you rinse it off, you can hear that sort of, as you're sort of making sure the suds going, you get that squeak from your hand to your hair.
Okay. So I want you to immerse yourself in that moment then, where you've brushed through the detangler or combed it through. You're now rinsing your hair. Just imagine that moment of rinsing. I don't know whether you're using your hands or whether you're just letting not the shower, but the bath water, however you're applying it. Describe to me the feeling of that rinsing process, whether it's on your hair or your hands. Just describe
I
that.
have a shower head, which I just use, and then I just rinse through, and it just feels quite relaxing, and you sort of imagine that you're sort of underneath a waterfall sort of thing. So it's quite nice.
Okay. So the rinsing moment is also an important part of that whole experience. And you talked about that, you actually wanting that squeaky clean feeling. Describe that feeling. How does it feel in your hands? How does your hair feel in that, if it's that squeakiness, is that clean that you want?
If I'm rinsing, and then as I put my hand down to make sure the shampoo's sort of going away, because 9 times out of 10 my eyes are shut, I like to feel the smoothness. So as I put my hand down, I can feel sort of, my hair feels quite sort of, I know it's wet, but shiny and smooth. Because obviously with coloured hair, it doesn't shine as much as a darker hair. So, but you can feel that sort of, the texture of it feeling quite smooth as you rinse it through. And that's when you get that squeak as you sort of put your hands down.
So based, just again, thinking of that shampoo experience, so based on the shampoo experience alone, that feeling when your hair is dry and the expectation from the shampoo, just summarize that for me. What do you expect from the shampoo?
I expect that it's done its job and that my hair is looking clean, shiny, soft. So if I dry my hair and my hair doesn't actually end up the texture or the way I do sometimes think, 1, is the shampoo good enough, or 2, have I rinsed it out enough, or things like that. So
what we're going to do now is just show you some images that we captured as you were just talking there. So I will just share those on screen in a second. What I want you to do, and these we've actually generated from listening to your discussion.
Wow.
as doing it. So the
That's
team
quick.
team in the background have been working in those. So just look at those images in terms of that washing, scrubbing. How well do these images capture your personal experience when shampooing?
Very good. I like the one on the left very much, because there are the odd time I do bring a glass of wine with me into the bath. So yeah, no, they're very quite spot on actually. The one on the right, maybe it's very good, but I don't know whether I'm that relaxed. But yeah, they are very very true to what I was saying on how a bath and washing my hair does feel. The scrubbing.
Okay, that's interesting. So it seems you're veering more towards the feeling in the moment on the left image.
Yeah.
Describe that. Why is that feel more right for you and how you feel?
Maybe because it just, I don't know, I'm drawn to the colours, the fluffiness of it. And just that in my head, when I'm washing my hair, I'd like to think that's me in my bath, but it's not, you know what I mean? That sort of little bit of glamour.
Okay, a bit of glamour. And what else are the colours doing here? Because they are quite different colours. What other feelings are these colours evoking that capture your experience?
Do you know what? I can smell the colours. I know that sounds really weird, but to me, those colours is like walking into like a Lush shop or something and you can smell that nice sort of candy sort of smell of fresh, like really sweet, quite a sweet smell.
Oh, okay. And is that pleasant? Does that capture a similar experience of your own shampoo?
Yeah, I like the smell of, I suppose my shampoo has a sort of perfumey sweet smell. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. So great. Okay. So it's more the left one. You've talked about that. Okay. So we'll go on to some other images.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. So the rinsing experience. Tell me about those images here, Tracy, and which best reflects your experience when shampooing and rinsing your hair.
I'd say left again. It is more that rinsing and water cascading down your head, your back, and all that, rather than it being sort of like smooth and frothy.
Okay, and what other feelings is that left image evoking that reflects your own? There's different colours used here as well, isn't there? Refreshing.
Yeah, colours not so much, just refreshing, clean, vibrant, quite vibrant. Makes you feel quite vibrant.
Okay. Would you have another image here that even better capture your experience if you had another image in your head that would best capture rinsing? Or
no, that's quite spot on. I mean, because it's not something that I don't actually visualize it in a way when I'm doing it. So that is quite good.
And of the images we've seen so far, I've just got a couple more to show you, but the images we've seen so far, are these images evoking and then bringing back even more memories of shampooing your hair?
Yeah, it can put you back in the place. When you look at a picture, sometimes it can put you back in the place. I mean, rinsing, not so much. That first one, really, I really like that one. That rinsing, not so. I wouldn't say the rinsing side is the be all, and like, you know, it doesn't have a big effect on me because it's just my getting from A to B, the shampooing to the next step sort of thing.
Whereas that previous image, the one on the left of you in the bath of the wine, how does what is that summing up for you, that image?
It's just pleasure.
Pleasure. Okay. The pleasure of the moment. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tracy. And then we've got another page to show you here. I think this is the last one. So just tell me about these images in terms of what you want your hair to feel like when it's dry as a result of the shampoo.
On the right, that's me. Just the shine. You can see the shine and the smoothness of the pearl, but like with this, how the sand is just so smooth as well. That's how I want my hair to look.
And is that also just from the shampoo?
I would say it's the whole process. I think the shampoo plays a big part, but is more in the sort of in the routine than just the shampoo. But the shampoo does play a big part because it's the first thing you use and it's something that you use the most of, I'd say.
And for drying, is it the silkiness here or is it the softness?
Yeah.
Is it silky or soft?
If you look at the one on the right, it does have more of it. So it can have a bit of everything, because if you look at the waves coming in, that would be a bit like the shampooing because it does look a bit frothy. But then if you look at the smoothness of the sand, like the conditioning, and then the pearl is the outcome right at the end. Nice, smooth, shiny hair.
And what about that left image there? Does that
I love the colours. I suppose that's how you'd like your hair right at the end, sort of, because it does look very very glam one on the left, but it doesn't. The right sort of conjures up the whole process, I'd say, if I think about it, water being the shampoo, sand being the dry, pearl being the thing. But I do like the texture of the one on the left because it does give a nice silk feel.
Thank you so much. And I've just got one last thing I want to ask you. Any other feelings or memories that are coming to mind for you about the whole shampooing process?
Not really. I think I mean, I've never really thought of shampooing as in depth as I've thought about it in the last sort of half hour or whatever. So, no, not really. I mean, it is one of those things that it is very important, I think. So, and maybe we need to take more time when shampooing to actually think what we're doing. But it is, it has made me think differently about shampooing now. and when I do next wash my hair, I will probably sit there and think, oh, imagine myself in that bath with the glass with all the pink and blue behind me.
Sorry, I was mute there. Perfect. So overall, what have we learned from the guided visualization? So firstly, we learned that we could explore the full consumer journey with the related emotions and associations from things we couldn't really capture live. For example, like, we're not going to do research of someone having a bath, like you just wouldn't do it. So that was good. We could really just capture the feelings and thoughts without actually having to do that part. It's important in the moment sensory research. It allowed us to explore her personal emotional experience and get pictures from that rather than just the functional experience of cleaning her hair. Again, the pleasure, the relaxation of the experiences, the key product characteristics really did help us visualize it. It really did. Just the depth that she went into in her descriptions of everything really helped us create really high quality images. So it's really important to convince the consumers to be really in depth when they are talking about their feelings and thoughts and emotions, because the better you sort of, and the more specific you are to AI, the better results you're going to get, because it is a new model that's still learning. And then overall, this allowed us to explore as researchers the real and essential indicators and cues that the participant Tracy looked for to support the desired end result, which is clean, sufficiently and moisturized hair, with the conditioner only being used on the length and the ends as well.
So how did AI help? As we observed, it helped capture the deep emotional nuance and brought it alive for the respondents as a visual expression of that moment. It revealed a bit more and allowed the respondent to feel at ease about their imagination, because that it is something that they saw. A sense of delight was noticed when she saw those images. And we also noticed a change of body language while seeing those evocative images, which further aided enhanced language, expressions, words such as fluffy, light, candy-like fragrance, and all those came out when she saw those visuals. Consumer was able to see the benefits such as refreshment, vibrancy, disconnect, more than just a cleaning ritual. We noticed textural nuances of the product, the delight of undergoing the process over just achieving the end result. We noticed that the visual stimulus also became a springboard for input into brand and product communication. So where next? With this, we would like to say that experimenting with core qual skills and AI as an assist can sometimes bring exciting opportunities, but the key would be not to leave behind the human touch or the knack that can help us maximize the outputs. That's all from our end. We would try our best to answer any questions on this.
Thank you both very much. I'm rather surprised that there aren't any questions, and I'm hoping that if any of you do have any, please send them in. I'm curious as to what the response is of clients to this approach compared with the approach before AI. How does it vary?
I think initially it's met with a bit of skepticism just because it's new. I mean, I'm too young to remember the birth of the internet. I think I was very young, but it's just like, you never know if it's going to steal your data or if it's going to be, all these things, privacy concerns mostly. But when we do show them things like this, they're very much open to it because it is new and it's really exciting and it can help them with their insights and build the depth. So it's very mixed, but I think eventually people will become more used to it and more accepting of it.
Yeah.
We have got 4 in so far. Let's see if I can open them up. So first of all, one was from Amanda, who said, have you conducted this technique in focus groups? Hang on just a minute. If so, what would your guidance be?
In general, guided visualization in focus group can be a little bit challenging because there are 4 or 5 respondents, but we haven't conducted it, but it is possible. We were aiming to trial in one of the groups, and it is quite possible. The only guidance would be to make sure that we give due respect to everybody's vocabulary and bring it alive in images together, because it can't be one-on-one sort of a scenario, or probably divide it in a way which is like one person just visualizes one part of the product experience, the other person other part. So that would be the only guidance. We haven't tried it, but yeah, we would love to know if anybody tries this technique in focus groups. Yeah,
It's going to be tricky, I would have thought. Jessica says, very interesting, thank you. What kind of AI program are you using to generate the images, e.g. Copilot?
Yeah, I think this might have been before Copilot. I think this was Microsoft Image Generator or Bing. Yeah, those two are pretty similar. I think Microsoft Image Generator is a bit better because you get like a certain amount of credits where you can get better quality images. You get like about 12, is it like a certain amount a day, I believe.
You can also try Shutterstock, because Shutterstock does have an AI image generator.
Okay. Graham joined late, so he's asking, can I understand technically how this is achieved, i.e. how to get AI to generate images in real time?
Graham, so one of the steps was that a trained researcher and person who can understand AI images better and prompts better sits in parallel and listens into the interview, and then helps in generating those images.
We have another one from Gemma who says, how would you describe the value of this technique versus the time taken to carry it out in a depth compared to more traditional methods?
I mean, I don't know if I've been in research enough time to talk about the traditional methods, like in terms of how they would draw it. I suppose maybe they draw it on like a piece of paper or something. And I think it is nicer. I think anything streamlined for me is great. I love saving time, but I don't know. What do you think, Heeru? Have you used traditional methods before, like in groups?
I think one of the addition that this method gives is another layer. So I wouldn't say that guided visualization is not a tried and tested method. It is a very solid methodology, but it just gives another layer where you are actually generating that imagination live to the respondent and seeing if there's anything more to that discussion, which we noticed that it can lead to uncover more nuances, finer nuances, which we saw, how Tracy reacted to the images and how her language became slightly bit more enhanced. So it's something that can drive better value.
So Hannah's got two questions, one after the other. One was the AI tool a paid tool or a free tool? And she also said, have you had any challenges with using this technique, i.e. participants' descriptions not being detailed enough to generate an image, or when you show the participant the images that were generated, that they disagree with them?
Yes, it is quite possible, which is why you saw that every time there were 2 images and we tried to pick images that exactly reflect what participants said and then a little bit more. So yes, it can sometimes be tricky, but the way out is to have someone who understands the category a bit more, so that the prompts go in better. So if the prompts are right, which is why we stress upon why human knack is so important. If the prompts are right, the image will be correctly generated.
Yeah,
okay.
and it was free. So I think obviously there are paid tools and I'm sure they're really, really good, but we've only really experimented with free tools, which is still really good. So I can imagine the paid ones are probably really, really good as well. Yeah.
Have you tried asking the consumers to play with the AI themselves? And what do you think this would yield?
No, we haven't, but this is a brilliant idea. I think this is next step. I'm very happy that it's inspired someone to take it further.
I know the online community platforms, I think they're trying to, I know particularly maybe Qualitative, they're trying to build in things where consumers can write in things for AI. So maybe, I mean, that could be a really good possibility if we're creating collages and stuff, because sometimes I guess there are quite a limited amount of photos online. So yeah, it's good to create your own, like from your imagination. So yeah.
Leslie says, love the dynamicness of this versus getting people to select pics. And a final one from Graham before we move on to the Q&A section. So you have a colleague type the prompts into the image generator rather than have it listen to the consumer speaking and generate it from that?
Yeah.
So the colleague is listening to the consumer speak and generating in parallel, if that answers your question, Graham.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a joint effort, basically.
It's a joint effort.
Yeah, it's not listening. I mean, I'm sure eventually there'll be wind technology. I'm sure eventually there'll be something that can listen, which is kind of scary. But at the moment, we're just typing it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So in terms of Q&As, she said, trying to get them up there. What platform did you use to generate the images? I think we've covered that, haven't we? That was from Karen. Yeah, again, which AI platform did you use? We've covered it. So Max asks, do you think there is a benefit, disadvantage to telling participants that this is AI generated versus acting like it's standard imagery found online? That's an interesting one.
I mean, whatever conversations have been happening, it's better to be transparent and tell them that these are AI generated images. But even if it's, you know, in scenarios when you do give these images without giving giving it away that is AI generated, consumers are smart enough to pick it up that this is AI generated, and it does come across, because from our last conversation that we had during AI conference, we did understand that the images that are AI generated typically are slightly different, and these are hyperbolic. So people do understand that they are not real images, and it generates a different kind of language around you know, how consumers see these images. So I would say that be transparent. I mean, it would yield better results.
To me, they're normally a bit cheesy.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's just me. Okay, Jag says, what would be the difference between using AI generated images versus traditional images? I think we probably covered that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that was probably it. Let me just go down. Thank you very much. No, it's lots of thank you very much, I think.
Yeah.
And thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, for spending this afternoon listening to us. We hope it's inspired you to take it to the next level, and do share your feedback on this.
Yeah, definitely.